Hi everyone, and welcome to Jane Talks Real. It's Trek Tuesday, where I will be discussing and reviewing an episode of the original series The Next Generation Voyager Deep Space Nine or Enterprise. Today I'm going to be looking at Spock's Brain from the original series' third season, or as I like to call it, Leonard Nimoy should have called in sick. I chose to do this episode because it just narrowly missed out on being on my reviewing the lowest rated Star Trek episodes videos by 0.1 point. The episode begins with some dramatic music and a red alert. I'm sorry, my mistake, a condition alert. Everyone is posing super dramatically as some metal rose looking ship is approaching. It's unidentified and they haven't responded to Uhura's phone call in all languages. Scotty has a tech boner for the mystery ship. Spock says there's one life sign, and what is that out of the window? Are those planets? Is that even a window, or has someone hung some abstract art above Spock's desk? The alien she-hulks aboard and the music gets all sexy. Her appearance raises a few eyebrows. Security rush her, but her doodad wristband puts everyone on their asses. Nurse What's-Her-Face gets the most dramatic collapse, and Kirk has gone sleepy nap time with his ass to the camera. The alien is super into Spock's oh-so-shiny hair, and into the credits we go. Everyone wakes up when the lights come on, but Spock is missing. McCoy calls to the bridge for the captain to come down to sickbay right away, where Spock is laid out with a blingy hat on his head. For whatever reason, Scotty tags along to sickbay and watches as Kirk and McCoy try to out-Shatner each other with their line readings.
What happened? I don't know.
Long story short, someone has surgically removed Spock's brain. Oh my god, what is with all these dramatic reaction shots? We're only 6 minutes in and already this episode is garbage. Kirk concludes that the sexy alien woman swipes Spock's brain, and despite McCoy telling him that he's very dependent on said brain, Kirk insists that Spock come with them on the most ridiculous fetch quest ever. McCoy is rightly skeptical.
Where are you going to look?
He also says that he doesn't know how to reattach a brain. Kirk lays out a complex medical procedure for him to attempt.
It was taken out. It can be put back in.
Wait, what? He makes it sound like the batteries just fell out of the remote or something. Anyway, Kirk claims he's going to force shag the information out of this woman. And no, seriously, why is Scotty even in this scene? They pick up an ion trail and follow it, jumping to warp 6. Except the stars outside didn't get the memo. After 15 hours, they lose the trail, and damn, are these people still here? Do they not get a break? Maybe they should form a union. Kirk asks Chekhov to pull up a schematic of the system and what the hell is that? Ah yes, Spock's brain is located between the third and fourth eyeball on a stick. Chekhov stands up in front of the class and gives a presentation on the 3 planets with a breathable atmosphere, but Uhura spoils his fun when the space phone starts ringing. There's an energy pulse coming from Planet 6, and after a quick debate, Kirk organises an away team of him, Scotty, Chekhov, and 2 disposable red shirts. They land on an apparently glacial planet, but it looks like production just poured some flour over some polystyrene rocks. There are some Neanderthal-looking dudes wandering around, and then Kirk says this.
Faces on stun. I want them conscious.
Bro, that's not how the stun setting works. This scene is blocked so poorly that I genuinely thought that each party was invisible to the other, but no, the aliens pop up from behind the rocks, even though I'm sure they were just behind the landing party a second ago. There is an overdramatic phaser firing which stuns exactly one of the aliens. After knocking this guy on his ass, Kirk tells him that they're friends, and once again, what is Scotty doing here? Did he have a clause in his contract that he had to be within 5 feet of William Shatner at all times? Anyway, the alien is not impressed with them and calls them small.
Puny god.
He talks about the others, who are
givers of pain and delight.
Oh my.
Being of a one-track mind, Kirk asks about the women, but the alien doesn't understand. He's clearly afraid of these others, and Kirk makes things worse by grabbing and shaking the poor dude. Chekhov interrupts like an excited puppy wanting to tinkle with the news of structures hidden underground. That's enough for the alien and he pieces out. They discover a cave, but
It's a trap!
So they get out and ask McCoy, beam down. He presses a button and holy hell, why is this so overdramatic? This is hilarious! There are no stakes in this episode because they are not going to kill off Spock, so calm down everyone. They all head back into the trap cave and turns out it's an elevator. Chekhov gets immediately bored of waiting and bros out with these two red shirts. Kirk once again instructs phasers to be set to stun. Dude, shouldn't that be standard procedure? Who wanders onto a planet with a kill setting on and thinks, yeah, let's off some fools? The lift comes to a stop and it's the lady! Kirk immediately shoots her. McCoy revives her so that Kirk can aggressively interrogate her, but she doesn't know anything helpful. No, seriously, why is Scotty here? They establish that the woman is actually a child, so let her go, Kirk, you big creeper! They pick up Spock's voice on the communicator and run into the brain thief who knocks them out. They wake up in the weirdest board meeting ever with literal belly buttons. Kirk demands answers, but these women have no idea what he's talking about. They establish there is a controller, but they're not allowed to see him. They surmise that Spock's brain is the controller. Kirk begs brain thief Kara, but she knocks them out again, and holy crap, what is William Shatner doing? No wonder people take the piss out of his acting. Kara goes off to hold a meeting and a hammy fight breaks out between the guards and the away team while Spock just sits there. They re-establish contact with his brain, who tells them that he's doubtful that McCoy could put his brain back in, so they should all just give up and go home. Kirk refuses and they all head for the signal the brain is putting out. They find Spock's brain, but Kara catches them and activates their pain belts. Spock is unaffected, so Kirk drives his Mecha Vulcan over to Kara, who resists poorly.
Go away!
And frees them. Kara explains that after their last controller died, they had to get a new one, and without it, they will all die. She also explains that she was only able to remove Spock's brain because she put on this see-through hedgehog hat, which contains knowledge of all things. Kirk forces Kara to wear it, and seriously, he's such a violent douchebag, leave this poor woman alone. With her newfound knowledge, Kara points a phaser at Kirk and it's set to kill.
Clever girl.
Scotty once again stands there awkwardly while Kara basically says the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
The need of my people for their controller is greater than your need for your friend.
Scotty lets out a weird noise. Gets me every time. Anyway, Kirk uses this as a distraction to grab the phaser. Him and Kara get into a bitchy argument with no resolution because they're both as stubborn as one another. McCoy offers to put on the hat and learn how to put Spock's brain back in, but Spock warns him that it could cause harm. McCoy is willing to take that chance for his pal. Kirk agrees and McCoy puts on the hat. With his new knowledge, he operates on Spock. Kirk tells Kara that she and her people will have to move to the surface and learn to survive. Gee, thanks dude. Couldn't they learn to survive down here where it's not stupidly cold? Uh-oh, we've got problems over here because the hedgehog hat's power is wearing off and McCoy can't remember how to finish the procedure. It's too dangerous for him to put on the hat again, but here's a thought. Why don't one of the others put on the hat and finish the procedure for him? Instead, McCoy does it on the fly with some starey, sweaty close-ups and reconnects Spock's vocal cords so he can talk him through the rest of the procedure. I'm sorry, what? Is that how brains work? Because I'm pretty sure that's not how brains work. After the surgery, Spock gets up without a scratch on him and bores everyone with a lecture on the culture of Kara and her people. McCoy insta-regrets reconnecting Spock's mouth. And that's it. Yeah, I have a question. What the hell did I just watch? This is one of the worst things I've ever seen. The controller and the aliens remind me a little of the Caretaker and the Okampas, but seriously, the story and acting in this one is pretty damn laughable. The only characters that made any sort of impact on the story were Kirk, McCoy, and Spock. Scotty was completely redundant in this episode, being given absolutely nothing to do despite him being in every scene, and Chekhov was also left by the wayside. Uhura, as always, was given nothing to do, and Sulu might as well have not existed here. Was he even in this episode? I genuinely can't remember. I read that Leonard Nimoy was embarrassed by the entire thing, but honestly he was probably the least embarrassing thing about it. Shatner, as always, was hamming it up in the limelight, and it seemed to rub off on DeForest Kelley too. It was so bad. Even the heart of the story was poor. They interfered with another species' natural order by forcing them up to the surface to try and survive. On top of that, the directing was god-awful. I don't usually notice directing, if I'm honest, but the spatial awareness and blocking made this episode extra confusing. I want to say that this episode is one of those so bad it's good things, but it's not. It's just bad. Watch it if you like, but you'll only do it once. If there's an episode of Star Trek you'd like me to cover, pop it down in the comments or come say hi on social media. I have access to all of the original series, The Next Generation, Voyager and Enterprise, as well as the first 2 seasons of Deep Space Nine. If you enjoyed this video, then please like, share and subscribe. I'll speak to you soon, and live long and prosper.